How spectacular is that? Welcome to Armenia, one of the most amazing countries on earth. And if you're wondering what that is behind me, it's Mount Ararat, the place Noah is believed to have landed his ark. I'm Kev Orkian, and I can't wait to show you around.
I'm travelling Armenia from top to bottom. Wow. To check out as many people and places as I can on the ground and in the air.
Wow.
I want to find out if we Armenians really are among the most hospitable people on the planet. Why our women are so damn beautiful.
Armenia.
And why it's compulsory in this country to do everything on a full stomach.
It's delicious! It's hot!
We'll chat with the world-famous French-Armenian singer Charles Aznavour, Armenia's greatest footballer, Arsenal's Henrik Mkhitaryan, and Armenia's pop sensation, Sirusho.
To Armenia. This is Armenia Uncovered.
Shameful that I actually used that to start my show with, my first ever show. So apologies that that's happened already. But I just want to say welcome, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. And I hope there's more people joining later on as well. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. It's called positivity. And it's all about being positive, about being creative with your mind, about trying to change what we are currently experiencing out there in the big wide world of coronavirus. And I know a lot of people over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and my friends in America, hello everyone in America, just want to say you guys are going through a massive change right now that we have, well, predominantly been through now already. So good luck with you guys out there as well. I just want to say we're all thinking of you, and fingers crossed you're all safe and sound. So let's talk about how being positive is so important. Okay, now for me it's absolutely crucial, okay, to really stay positive in this time, in this moment, in this episode of our lives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss with you how I've got through it, and not just with this particular coronavirus, but how I've got through it with other moments in my life, and how I've kept so positive throughout my entire, definitely adulthood, but probably from about the age of 15, 16, how I just clicked onto this attitude of every day is a new day. Every day is a new experience, a new way of living, a new way of experiencing something, a new way of moving forward. And by doing that, I think I'm just naturally a happy person. And I've always been that way. It's to the detriment of some people who get really annoyed with me. But to be honest with you, I tend to be very happy most of the time, if not all the time. Of course, like everyone else, like you guys out there, like everyone else out there, I do have my moments. And it's natural. It's humans. It's being a human being. You know, if we didn't cry, if we didn't get angry, if we didn't shout, if we didn't kind of, you know, just let out our frustrations at the fact that things really wind us up, they get on our nerves, you know, all little things like that, then of course, truth to be known, that then builds up inside you. And the last thing you want is for that to stay inside and for you then to go, right, I'm gonna spew now and I'm just gonna go mental, okay? And that's why I tend to be really happy, because I don't allow any of that to head up. I don't allow that pot of annoyance, that pot of anger, whatever, go past a certain amount of my time. And that's what I really wanted to talk to everyone about today, because I mean, I'm going to talk about my experiences, of course, you know, from a young age, the fact that I had many negative experiences in my life, and I'm talking incredible amounts. And I'm not saying I'm any different to you. We're probably categorically the same, okay? The difference is we have different experiences in our lives and different levels of negativity and stress and anger and sadness. I've been blessed, and I know a lot of my friends out there probably not the same as me, but I've been blessed that I still have both my parents. So both my mum and dad are still alive. And I know a lot of my friends lost their parents a long time ago when I was in my 20s and 30s. A lot of my close friends lost their parents, and I can't even imagine the loss of a parent, how that would feel and how negative you would feel. I know friends out there, particularly in Las Vegas, if they're watching now. Hi guys in Las Vegas, I hope you're enjoying the show. I've got a couple of friends out there who I've got over the years really close to and connected with, and some of the stories they've come up with have blown my mind. You know, such negativity, such sadness in their lives, yet you look at them and they're smiling and they're looking at you going, but life goes on. And you kind of think to yourself, wow, this is insane. It's like, you know, you're taking the worst case scenario in your life and you're making it the best you can possibly see to make it. And I don't know how to explain that, because for me, I've seen incredible negativity. I've seen incredible abuse to myself over the years. And the abuse I've seen, not from parents, I'm talking from bullies, I'm talking from others. That I've experienced, whether they're in school, whether it's been in college, whether it's been in work, whether it's been neighbours, where we used to live in North London, in Edmonton. If anyone's from there now, from Edmonton County, and you're on the old page now, hi guys, wonderful memories of Edmonton County. But to be fair, that's where my negativity really started, you know. So I was the smallest. Let me go back to that point. Let me tell you where my happiness really started switching from being this person that was worried, that was scared, that was sad, and I switched it around. And I can't particularly give you the exact moment in my life that happened. However, I was always a joker. I was always a kid that told jokes. I was always a happy one that went around to family homes, family houses, you know, went around to friends, neighbors, whoever, and just brought happiness to them, in the sense that I would laugh, I would giggle, I would tell a joke. I'd do something stupid. I'd do an impression of, I don't know, Columbo, you know, one of my favorite detectives of all time, you know, and I would try to make people laugh. That was my thing, okay? But when I was in school, it was a totally different ballgame. And from the moment I started in school, I wasn't at the start of my school life. I wasn't one of these people that made friends very quickly. I used to talk to everyone, but not everyone would want to talk to me. And making friends was a bit of an issue. So trying to create a kind of positive atmosphere around me was probably the hardest thing to have started with at the age of, you know, 4, 5, and 6, and to have a lack of English as well, because even though I was born in England, both my parents are Armenian. So my first language is Armenian. My second language is Turkish. And the reason it's Turkish is because both my parents, who are Armenian, were brought up in Turkey, in Istanbul. So they used to speak to each other in secret, and they would talk to each other in secret, you know, if they wanted us not to hear something they wanted them to talk about. But because being so intelligent that I am, me and my sister, we both kind of clocked onto the Turkish language, and by the time we were like 8, 9, 10, we knew how to speak it, and certainly knew more how, I mean, we understood it better as well. So English was my third language. And by the time I went to school, I couldn't really speak very much English. So I kind of learned in school, I can't even speak it, you see, this is what I'm saying. This is my English, learned in school how to actually speak properly. And that then created another barrier for me, because to be honest with you, you're trying to create this positivity. You're trying to go to school, trying to be happy, but no one understands you. And you can't make friends because you don't understand them. So it became quite an issue for me for the first probably 2, 3 months. And then as and when I gradually, you know, became more older, and we moved schools, we moved to North London, and I made more friends, and my English became much stronger, and my Armenian became stronger. It was one of those things where you kind of motivate yourself to go, right, I need to be positive, because if I'm not going to get on in life. That was my motto. So my parents actually probably ingrained some of that into me, because their motto was always, you know, work, 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 try and do the best you can in your life, trying to move forward, always push forward, try and move, you know, never ever stand back, never ever sit down. They never allowed me to sit down. So I always was on the go. And I got to school. So I'm now, I'm 12 or 13 years old, and I've got to school. And I'm a bit cocky because I can talk. You know, I can talk English really well. I've got loads of friends. I'm making friends all the time. I'm telling jokes all the time. I'm being really, really funny all the time. I'm being the class clown, which I was known for anyway. And I was always trying to do tricks, things on, you know, kids while the teacher was in the classroom. So I'd get a pea shooter straight to the teacher's neck. Nick would she'd go, "Who's that?" And then, of course, I would turn around and just look and point to the person next to me without them even seeing. I'd just lean back and go, like that, and then they would get into trouble. They'd be like, "No, but it was Kev. It was always Kev." And I go, "No," like it's right. And those kind of things I always did. So I was always the prankster, always the joker. Problem was, few people really took a dislike to me in school, and they started bullying me. And this is where positivity becomes a nightmare, because the truth of the matter is, when you're trying to stay positive and you've got people knocking you down all the time, people slamming you down, people hating you, it's not easy to stay positive. And it got to the point in my life where it became very regular. 365 days of the year. I don't know how many days of that we went to school, but to be fair, I'd say 99% of the time, probably most days, I'd either get bullied, I'd get teased, I'd get kicked in, I'd get, you know, the headlock with the old bang, bang, bang. I'd get something, and predominantly every night I'd get chased home. Either kids on bikes, kids with, you know, sticks and things they'd found on a local tree or something, and they'd catch up and they'd beat me up. And they do it all the time. And the reason they would do it is because I was one of the smallest in my school, shortest, sorry, and I was also, to be honest with you, very easy to tease and to kind of abuse, like bully, because I didn't retaliate. I didn't want to hurt people. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to use that as an excuse to turn around and hurt other people. I wanted to be kind. I wanted to be happy. And I think that was a big detriment to me at the time in school. So then you kind of go, right, okay, I'm trying to be positive here, but I've got these guys, they're constantly bullying me, and they're constantly beating me up. Why? I don't know why. So when I'd ask them, they'd laugh and they'd punch me again. And it was constant. How does someone stay positive throughout all of this? I used to tell jokes. And what happened was, telling a joke became my security blanket. And what I would do is, as I was walking home, as I was going home, I knew they were coming. And I knew they were going to catch up with me, and they were going to do something. And day after day after day, I kept saying to myself, these guys won't do this for much longer. These guys won't do this for much longer. These guys won't do this for much longer. And the more I believed that would happen, the more I became happier inside myself, even though they kept on beating me up. And there were many occasions where I was kicked in to the point where I couldn't walk anymore. Believe it or not, in my school, they used to handcuff me to the park gates, which was on the way home to my house. They would handcuff me. They had, I don't know where they found the handcuffs from, to be fair, but they would handcuff me to the park gates, and they would take the key, you know, that little key that you used to get with those you know, handcuffs. I don't know where you could buy them from, like joke shops and whatever, but these were the ones that they were real. You had to put a key in to open it. You couldn't just flick the, so they would get the key and they would throw it into the letterbox, and the postman's not coming till the following morning. So what do? How do I get out of this? You know, they've just handcuffed me. They've beaten me up, but I've got to get home. Why? Why do I have to get home? Because I don't want my mum to figure it out. I don't want her to figure out that I am getting bullied, that I'm in trouble, that I'm getting abused at school, that I am not defending myself, that I'm losing. Because if she finds out, she's going to go to the school, she's going to tell the school what's going on, and you know what the score is, because a lot of you out there who are definitely 38, 39 plus will know that your parents coming to school is the biggest nightmare on the planet, because they come and complain, you're getting beat again. It don't matter. The kids are going to beat you again. Oh my God, your mum came into school. That's just sad. Bang, bang, bang. There you go again. So I kept it hush hush. And on many occasions, I even came home with either blood on my shirt, a cut somewhere, you know. I mean, I'm not going to go into it too heavy, but I was stabbed a couple of times with a scalpel in my arm. I was even shot, believe it or not, with a rifle that was brought in to school for a science project. And the kid, his name was George, I'll never forget, he shot this air rifle and it ricocheted off the pavement straight into my back. Oh, that was painful. But I went home, parents wouldn't know anything about it. I couldn't tell them, because if I told them, then issues would start. So again, I stayed positive at home. So I put it on as a front. But at the time, what I didn't realize the front would do was actually train my brain to overcome negativity much more quickly than people who probably haven't practiced it enough. So that was my kind of security blanket. Tell people jokes, make them laugh, they might stop bullying you. 8 years. So my jokes must have been really crap, because it took them 8 years to stop bullying me. And in those 8 years, I got to the point where I just got fed up. And believe me, I'm not religious. I'm far from religious. I certainly believe in the infinite intelligence up there. I do. I categorically do. I think there's a very, very bigger power out there that we can tap into. All of us can tap into that power, because we are all born amazing. All of us. Okay? People might forget that, and they start getting into depression, and they start getting into sad, you know, moments in their head and this and that, whatever. And we'll talk about that. But the truth of the matter is, you can't allow negativity to win. Okay? You can't allow it to win. And I didn't. So I would tell jokes, I would make them laugh and whatever. And a lot of the time, as time went on, the kids started to give up. They started to give up bullying me. They were like, oh, here we go. It's Kev. It's Kev. All right, go on, Kev. Tell us a joke. And if it's a good one, we'll leave you. We'll leave you. All right, go on. We'll leave you. So I'll tell them a joke like, you know, what's the difference between toilet seat and anniversaries? What? Men miss both. And, you know, jokes that I'd heard on television from Jim Davidson's and the Bobby Davros and the Mick Millers and, you know, all these big stars that were on the television. I'd listen to their jokes. You know, I'd take the joke, I'd write it down, and then I'd go to school and I'd have it in my pocket. And then when I came out of school and the kids were coming up, right, get Kev, come on, we're going to beat him up. Come on. And so I go, no, hold on, I've got a joke. All right, well, tell us the joke. And if it's good, we'll leave you alone. And every day I'd tell another joke. It was the way I got out of it. And it got to the point where they started to give up. They started to give up. They started to, you know, they started to forgive me for being small. They started to forgive me for being too kind, too happy, too jokey. And I kind of started winning. There was one guy, let me tell you this, there was one kid called Jeff Parker. And if he's watching, he's from Edmonton County. He's a great kid. Now, of course, I have no issues with this kid, but for at least 4 years of my life, he was hell in my life. He was hell. And he would be horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And he was one of the guys that stabbed me in the arm. He just came up to me with a scalpel one day and he just said, I don't like you. And he stuck it in my arm. So you kind of go, right, okay. And he was always playing the hard nut. Oh, look, there he is. Let's go and get him. Let's go and get him. He's the geezer. No, that's the one. And, you know, they'd come out and a couple of kicks in, you know, and this and that, whatever. And then if I was down on the floor, they'd kick me a couple of times in the face and whatever. And I'd either bleed or whatever, blah, 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 you know. Feel sorry for me, feel sorry for me. I'm not doing it for that reason at all. I'm just telling you, after I got up, I'd be sad, really sad. And I'd go to the toilets and I'd sit there on the toilet seat and I'd cry my eyes out. Or I'd run away somewhere. And believe it or not, if any of the teachers from Edmonton County Upper School are watching this, or any of the students, I actually had a key. This is a true story. I had a key that, because I used to collect keys. God knows why. Please don't ask. But I used to collect keys. And one of the keys, okay, believe it or not, used to open this door, right, that would open to a staircase that went up to the clock tower at the upper school in Edmonton County. I don't know why I had that key, okay, but I had the key. And on many occasions, I would hide in that tower, just like, you know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, literally, right? Except the thing was, I didn't live up there, of course. I just stayed there until they either went home, or during lunchtime, I would hide up there. No one knew I was there, ever. Not even a teacher found out. For the, I think it was 4 or 5 years I was there, no one ever found out. I used to go in there and sit down and hide in there, and I'd just wait, and I'd listen, and I'd watch through the clock tower, just to see, the bell tower, sorry, not the clock tower, the bell tower, to see if they were going home. And once they were going home, 5 minutes, I'd count down 100, and I'd sit there counting down to 0, then I'd leave, and I'd go home. When I got home, the smiles goes back on. Mum go, how is it today? Did you have a good day? And I go, Mum, it was amazing. I had a lovely day. Got loads of friends. It's amazing. Oh, it was brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And that's how I always lived my life. I lived it positive. When I went to bed, you pray. Now, I'm not religious, but at the time, my parents, they would always take me to church. And I learnt the art of praying. Now, praying for me is a whole new level of kind of touching the infinite intelligence, and how we kind of tap into that, how we tap into that energy and ask for things to come to us, okay? And one of the most important things is happiness. So I always tap into that and say, please, please, please keep me happy. Please keep those negative thoughts, those negative ideas away from me. And that's predominantly how I live my life, okay? So I left school, believe it or not, and I went into the theatre. And I was working in my local theatre, Millfield Theatre. If anyone's watching Millfield, hello, Millfield Theatre. Absolutely an incredible theatre at the time. They took me and I did many, many shows there. But whilst I wasn't working as an actor or a performer or whatever you want to call me, a musician or comic or whatever, I would work behind the bar. Only because psychologically it kept me in the theatre. So I knew I was still there. Even though I wasn't a performer in a show or something, I was, you know, in the theatre. Believe it or not, 3 years later, and I'm on and off, by the way. I've now gone and done a couple of musicals. I've left school. I've done a couple of musicals. I've done this and that, whatever. And I'm working behind the bar. It might have been actually 2 years, sorry. And I'm pulling pints and I'm serving people at the theatre. And I turned my back to serve someone who wanted some drink or whatever. And I heard with this voice, someone ordering a drink. And the voice came to me and said, excuse me, can I have 2 white wine spritzers, please? And I thought to myself, yeah, all right. So I turned around and I looked. And as I looked, I just stared at the guy and I said, oh my God. Oh my God. And he looked at me and he didn't recognize me. He said, sorry, what's wrong? Who, what? And I said, honestly, this now all makes sense to me. It all makes sense. And he looked at me and said, sorry, who are you? I said, I'm the guy that spent probably 4 or 5 years of his life going to school and worrying that you were going to hurt me. And he looked at me and went, you're not Kev, are you? And I said, yeah. And he just stopped. And I looked at him and I said, but I don't hate you for what you've done. I don't hate you. I said, I'm actually pleased to see you. And he broke down. He broke down because this must have affected him as much as it must have affected me. And he honestly put his hand on his heart and he said, can I cuddle you? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And he gave me a big cuddle. And he said, I'm so sorry. And he gave me a kiss on the cheek. And he said, I'm so sorry. I said, but you don't have to be. It's done. It's over. He said, no, I'm sorry. He said, because I wasn't gutsy enough to come out as being gay. And he said, and I used my knowledge, he said, my education, to hide that from everyone. And by hurting you and bullying you, he said, it made me feel butch. And I was fighting my own sexuality. He said, so I'm so sorry for what I've done. This is my boyfriend. And I went, oh, hello. And then we met up and we had a giggle and whatever. And it was great. But I realized there and then, if I had taken that negativity and I put that on me and that burden on me for those 5 or 6 years and then added another 3 or 4, well, 2, I think it was, like I said, two more years before I met him again. That would have been 7 years of this negativity in my head going, I was bullied, I was bullied, I was bullied, I was bullied, I was bullied. What happens to you? The subconscious in your head learns and goes, he was bullied. He's negative. No, you can't come out of that. You can't come out of that. You're bullied. Don't trust anyone else. Don't trust anyone that looks like him. Don't trust. Now the voices start kicking in. They start kicking into your head. Voices. That is the biggest challenge that any human being will ever go through. Voices. And your voice in your head is 100% stronger than you. I can guarantee you that now, because your voice will say things to you because your subconscious has already got that in there. Your subconscious has already created the blueprint, the template. It's there. It's there. So what happens is your voice in your head goes, yeah, but you didn't do that last time. Yeah, but do you remember what happened when he did that? Do you remember? Do you remember how you got hurt? Do you remember? Yeah, but if you do that, you see, you're going to get the same results. So don't do it. No. Don't bother running. Don't bother. Why are you running for? Don't run. Why are you trying to lose weight? You did it once before. You did it twice before. Did it work? No. Forget it, mate. Forget it. Don't bother doing it again. The voices are playing constantly. Constantly. What do you do? How do you get out of that? Okay? We're going to touch upon that in a minute. And I'm going to take some questions as well. So we will touch upon that. I'm just going to a couple more minutes and I'm going to take some questions. Same thing happened. Now, those of you that know me know I play the piano. I do concerts. I do shows. I write music. I do the lot. But that journey started when I was 3.5. And it was my mum's dream. It's not my dream. That was my mum's dream. My mum's dream was to play the piano. But she's an ethnic woman. She's not allowed. She lives in Armenia. Oh, no. You have to clean. You have to cook. You have to, iron. You have to look after your brothers and sisters. You have to do everything because you are a woman. You can't be creative. No. And that was my mum's dream. That was crushed. Crushed. Every bit of her dream was crushed. What does a person do when their dreams are crushed? When they have no hope? They have no chance of learning to do something because their parents are telling them that they can't. Okay? Finally, she escaped. Not in a bad way. She got married to my dad. She left Istanbul, came to England, and she got married to my dad. And then, of course, a couple of years later, I was born. She directed her entire attention to me. Right, I couldn't learn the piano. He's going to have to learn it. And that's what my mum did. My mum went, right, he's going to have to learn it. 3.5 years old, they put me on a piano. All right, they start tinkling the ivories. I'm tinkling. Of course, I can't play, and then put me forward to a teacher, then another teacher. Then they put me forward to this incredible human being called Isabella Gonzalez. And she was just probably the most incredible piano teacher I ever had. She put the cement and the concrete foundations to what I do today. Okay. However, again, it wasn't done through positivity. So she wasn't the kind of teacher that went, oh, well done, Kev. That was wonderful. Good boy. No, man. Never heard that in my life. Never heard that in my life. How she taught me was like this. Play the piano. Don't look at your fingers. If you look at your fingers, this ruler and the sharp end of the ruler will go behind your neck. Every time I look down, bang, into the back of my neck. Bang. Every single time. Then, on a couple of occasions, I was much older as well, so I would have been about 14 or 15 at this point, playing the piano, playing like Mozart sonata in C. And if I play the wrong note, I don't know what was up with this woman that day. She was not in a happy mood. As I'm playing, bang, the piano lid comes out on my fingers. Crush, right? I've got blue fingers, right? And now I go home. Now, this day and age, that teacher would have been in prison, okay? It's natural, okay? You don't abuse children like that. In my time, okay, bang, down on the hands. Good God, what happens? I start crying. I can't play the piano anymore. She said, go and sit down until I finish with your sister, and then you're going to go home. We walk home. We get home on this particular occasion. I walk into the house. First thing I do, okay, I tell my mum, right? Mum, you ain't going to believe what's happened. What's happened? Piano teacher, yeah? Look what she's done to my fingers. What is this? What happened to your fingers? What's going on? She put the piano lid down on my fingers, and it really hurt. Why did she do this? And I'm thinking, my mum's on my side. Why did she do this? because I didn't play the piano properly, and I looked down at my fingers, and she said I didn't practice enough. And then she smacked me one as well to say, right, to say, why did you upset your piano teacher? No winning, no winning. So I was surrounded to a certain degree by negative attitudes towards something that didn't need to be negative, okay? Because I was still learning. But that's how it worked. Do I hate my piano teacher? God, no. I love her. Why? Because today I play the piano better than I've ever played before, okay? Better than I've ever played before. And so much so, positivity in my life was that strong that even with negative attitudes, negative surroundings, piano teachers getting angry with you, telling me that you can't play it properly or doing this, doing that, I'd still enter competitions, piano competitions. And the one competition I'll never, ever forget, was we had to go all the way to Muswell Hill in North London. And we drove up, and it was me and my mum, just me and my mum. And she took me to a competition to see if I could enter and win the Dorothy Foster's Cup, which was a very prestigious cup that you could win for being a pianist, right? And I was probably, 14, 15. And I went to the competition and we sat down. And I was competing, and I always competed with Japanese children, because they were just like, oh my God, I mean, at the age of 4, they were playing the Flight the Bumblebee, So I was like, good God, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm competing with 7 other children. I'm the only white, Armenian, English born child there. Predominantly all of them are Japanese, okay? Oh, and there was one Indian child there as well. So they're all there with, anyway, so each one gets up. There were 2 of them got up first, right? So one gets up, plays 2 pieces, sits down. So plays 2 pieces. Now at this point, I've only practiced 1. That's me done. I've practiced Mozart, boom, done and dusted. Oh no, sorry, apologies. I was not even playing Mozart, I was playing Tchaikovsky. So I'm like, oh my God. So I look at my mum. My mum looks at me and she goes, why are these people playing 2 pieces? I said, I have no idea, Mum. No idea at all. She said, I don't know. Anyway, second Japanese kid gets up, gets on the piano, plays the first piece. Robot. They play like robots. Well, these particular kids that I was with, they played like robots. So, no emotion, just and I was like, oh God. And then and for my next piece, you what? And my next piece. Okay, so everyone's playing 2 pieces. Then they turned around and went, and the judge turned around and said, okay, Mr. Kev Orkian, my real name, Kev Orkian, could you please come up and sit on the piano? So I'm thinking, good God. So my mum looks at me and goes, good luck. Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, here we go. So I sit on the piano and I play Tchaikovsky. And I'm sitting there playing the Tchaikovsky and I'm having a great time, done it all, put emotion into it. And I'm like, just flying around and all this business on the piano. I do the whole thing, right? Play the piece, done and dusted. I get up, I bow, go back to my seat. And the judge goes, excuse me, Kev Orkian, 2 pieces. We have to play 2 pieces for this particular competition. So I looked at my mum and my mum went, oh no. And I went, no problem. No problem. Now, any child, bar me, probably would have gone, I'm sorry, I've only practiced 1 piece of music. That's all I've got. Okay, but me, being cocky and thinking positively and not wanting to be outbeaten by Japanese children, okay, I said, not a problem at all. I said, I've got my other piece, but I haven't brought the sheet music with me, so I haven't got that, but I've got it in my head. Can I play it? Absolutely, please. That's very impressive. So I sit down. I sit down at the piano and I start to play. God knows what I was playing. I was making it up. I'm making it up. I'm just playing, right? And I'm putting that much emotion in it. I kid you not, Richard Clayderman, right, would have got up and left. Okay, I'm like, like so all this business, right? I do the piece and I stand up and I bow. And as I go back to the seat, the judge goes, sorry, what was that piece called? And I look at my mum and I look back and I go, fireworks. It's the only thing that came into my head. I kid you not. Fireworks. My mum looks at me and goes, I never heard you play this before. I said, me neither. Oh my God, she said, right? Everyone played, everyone finished. The judges were reading the winners out. Positive thinking. Okay, this is what I'm trying to teach you. Positive thinking. In third place, Hinchan Tatua, whatever the name was, the child, the Japanese child. Third place, you get bronze. Oh. In second place with the silver is Junjan Jinden, whatever, you know, not being disrespectful to Japanese names. I just don't know any, right? Winner. So at this point, my mum turns around to me. She goes, she goes, better luck next time. Don't worry, don't worry. And first place, Kev Orkian, which is my real name. Kev Orkian. And my mum turns around and goes, my God, you lucky bastard, right? And there you go. And I won the Dorothy Foster's Cup. I brought it home. There you go. Positive, positive, positive thinking. That's what's happened. Now, I'm not going to talk too much longer because I have actually been going on for quite some time. And I did promise that I would talk to you guys as well. So I've got some questions here. I'm looking at the questions now. And I've got a few people saying, hello, you are just awesome, Kev John. I'm getting a lot of Armenian friends here as well. Kev, this has just been amazing to listen to, man. Wow. Chris Judge, thank you, son. So let's get some questions out there. So now we're in the lockdown. Positive thinking. You train your brain. Train your brain. Okay. Are there any questions out there? If you've got a question, send it to me and we can talk about it. We can talk about how you stay positive during this coronavirus. Because, look, we've been in lockdown for 6 weeks. Some of us are going to be in lockdown for a hell of a lot longer. Let's be honest. You're over 70, you're buggered. Okay, you're done. You're done and dusted. You ain't going to be able to come out for at least a few more months. Let's be honest. That's not bad news. That's not bad news. That's just the way we have to do it. Okay, because it's your health that's important. Okay, don't think about, oh, I can't go out. Oh, that's hell. That's going to be horrible. No, because if you think that way, depression kicks in, negativity kicks in. Your idea of actually trying to stay positive goes out the window. Okay, you can't be that way. You've got to be positive. How do we become positive? What do we do to become positive? If you've got any questions, our producer Nick will post them on there and I'll have a look. But the idea is to stay positive. You've got to channel your mind. Cherry Hitchens, but do you do breathing exercise to help you? Cherry, honestly, I kid you not, every morning at probably about 5:36, I get up every morning. Why do I get up at 5:36 and sometimes 6:30, depending on how I feel and how long, you know, what time I've gone to bed at night? But I don't want any more than 6 hours sleep, 7 hours tops. Okay, 6, 7 hours, more than enough sleep for me. So I get up and I get up at 5:30. Upstairs, brush my teeth, put my clothes on, get myself sorted, come downstairs, make myself a green tea, herbal tea, whatever it is. I quit alcohol and coffee and tea out of my diet 3.5 years ago now. The only thing I drink is wine, red wine. And I do that because Jesus did that. So basically, I then make my tea in a flask, green tea, put the lead on the dog, on our dog Poppy, and I go out. And I walk for about 25 minutes. And when I'm walking, Cherry, and people out there that are doing it, one of the things we've never done right from the moment we're born, we don't breathe properly. And that is a fact. We all breathe just as much as we need. So what you're doing now, no one on a daily basis, no one on this planet on a daily basis, even for an hour, breathes like this. For an hour. No one does it. No one does it. When I'm walking with my dog, I've made it a categorical habit to do that 15 times when I'm walking the dog. 15 times every morning. I breathe in, and let's face it, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, no cars, fresh air, birds are chirping. At the moment, as you can imagine, it's apocalyptic, right? Birds are chirping, everyone's having a great time. So what do? I breathe in that wonderful air. But as I'm breathing, this is what I do. Think positive. I'm going to have a great day today. I'm going to achieve 2 incredible things with my business today. Positive, positive. Keep taking them in. Breathe in the positive, breathe out the negative. Breathe in the positive, breathe out the negative. So Cherry, categorically, that is one of the things I do every morning. And it's become more and more important in my life the older I've got than it was when I was younger. I wouldn't have done this when I was 30, 31, 35. But I started changing my mental attitude towards being even more positive when I was about 32, I think it was. And I changed my entire outlook of my life. I started creating new ideas in my head. And let's face it, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but to be positive, to be naturally positive in your lives, you have to make it a habit every single day. You have to say, I'm going to be great today. I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to smile at a stranger today. Might be weird because they might go past and go like that, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be happy. That person doesn't know what I've gone through. I don't know what they've gone through. They might have had a really tragic life. They might have had a massive problem this week and they can't get out of it. I don't know what their problem is, so I'm going to smile, because by smiling, I'm going to make them feel happier, no matter what. They might even think I'm an idiot. Don't matter. I'm going to make them happy. So you've got to do that. And the best time to change your life habits for more positive is either just before you fall asleep or just as you wake up, because you are in between your sleep pattern. And there seems to be a magical moment between just getting up and being awake. There is that moment when you just open your eyes and you're just like, oh God, what day is it? And at the moment, I think everyone's thinking, what day is it? Because we just don't have any kind of, any kind of normality. What days, what year, what month? But when you wake up, just as you wake up, I'm going to have a great day today. Just as you wake up, today's going to be amazing. I'm going to do one thing better than I did yesterday. Just as you fall asleep, I've had the most great day today, but tomorrow it's going to be better. It's going to be better. It can't get any worse. And if it does get worse, it can only get better again. Because life gives you those challenges. And if you don't accept them, that's when negativity kicks in. And 99% of actually, I'm wrong, it's 97%. 97% of this planet, not even England, not America, 97% of the planet are unhappy with their lives. 6.7 billion people, 8 billion people, even 7 billion people. Let's just round it off. I don't know. 7 billion people in the world. 97% are not happy with either their lives, their jobs, their relationships. They're just not happy. What in God's name kind of statistics is that? I read that actually last week. 97%. 97. Are you mad? What is that bad in your life that you can't find one piece of positive, news or attitude or one positivity in your life? It's unreal. Why? Because I'll tell you why. Because we think negatively 85% of the day. You sit there and you see someone cut you up. I'll give you a prime example. Someone cuts you up in the road. What do you do? Oh, it's all right. It's okay. Don't worry. Really? No. Every swear word under the sun. We do. And then those of you that have no control over your emotions and you get angry, I used to do it. I would do it. Right in front of them. All this business. But then you start realizing that you don't know what they've gone through. You don't know if they're any good at driving. You don't know if they've just lost a parent or a child, which is horrendous to even think about. Imagine the negativity they're going through and you're not, but they've made you negative. They have transferred their negativity to you without even talking to you. Why? Because you've allowed yourself to adapt that negativity. You've allowed yourself. Any more questions? Please pass them on. Nick, do you allow yourself to have a bad day? Yes. Yes, you have to allow yourself to have a bad day. If we all spent our entire day walking around being happy, okay, there's a slight, attitude, not even negativity. It's an attitude. You're being false to your own existence, because we can all have a bad day. We might receive a bill, or we might receive some kind of bad news. You don't just turn around and receive you know, a letter that says that you've got a CCJ against your name. That's not going to make you happy. You're going to have a bad day. But here's how I change it. I take that bad day, and I think that bad news, sorry, and I think, right, it's going to be a bad day, but I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to let it. I'm going to deal with this. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it back in the envelope, sellotape it, leave it on my desk, put priority, and leave it on my desk. It's in my brain now. The CCJ is in my brain. I've got it. I've got a CCJ. But I don't need to deal with it in anger. I can deal with it when my emotions calm down. And I've trained myself to make my emotions calm within minutes now. Within minutes. Not hours or days or weeks or months. I can't hold a grudge. I find it negative. How can, and JFK said this, those that live in the past and present cannot live in the future. Those that live in the past cannot live in the future. You can't train your brain to think where you're going, what my life's going to be like. I'm going to be happy. I've got a great relationship. I'm going to have a better relationship. I'm going to have children that are going to be absolutely incredible in school. They're going to be wonderful. You know, I pray for that most days, because we get up in the mornings and after a few hours and they've had their milkshake, chocolate milkshake, good God, it's like we've got two insane, you know, human beings in the house that are just like, good God, they drain the energy out of you. But I follow it up with discipline. I don't get angry as such. I get hard with them. I discipline them, and then immediately, within like minutes, I would say within minutes, I turn it over. And I turn it over and I give them a big cuddle and I go, did you understand what I said? Yes, but I still love you. Do you love me? Yes, I do. Then I crack a joke and then they're back to normal again. To a certain degree, I don't want them to be in negativity for more than a few minutes, but they need to learn. Children need to learn. Discipline. That's another thing we'll talk about on another day on another show. Give me another one. Stevie Pink, by the way, a wonderfully talented human being. He's a great artist, a great person, and I'd like to thank him, by the way, for this wonderful new logo that you can see on my page. I always turn frustration into fascination. Do you know what? Everyone deals with anger, frustration, negativity in their own way. What I implore you to do is, a lot of people, and I know a ton of people who take negativity and they make it their God. I know that sounds really powerful in the sense that how would you make negativity your God? Well, by allowing the negativity to become your decision maker, your decision maker. If negativity decides for you, you will never be able to get out of it, ever. And that voice in your head is not as strong as you. That's another thing that people don't know. If your voice turns around and says, oh, are you seriously going for a run now? Why are you putting your trainers on? Don't use those trainers. Do you remember last time you ran and it really hurt your feet? Do you remember what you did? You couldn't walk for a couple of hours. Do you remember? Do you remember that? Do you remember how bad that was? Do you remember? Oh, just stay unhealthy. Just stay unhealthy. Don't run. Don't run. Don't worry. People don't talk about your belly getting bigger. Don't worry. It's fine. Oh God, you got a bit of fat around your heart. Oh, whoopie-doo. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Because you're not going to really succeed. To be honest with you, let's be truthful. You're not going to run more than a couple of days and then you're going to quit again. You're a quitter. You're a quitter. You're a quitter. And your mind and your voice in your mind is constantly saying that. So how do you change it? Shut up. Do you know what I do? I tell you, I do one better than shut up. This happens to me regularly. And it has done, because from the age of early 30s through to my 40s, I've read tons and tons of books, okay? I read everything on, you know, motivational, inspirational, money, this. I read many, many books. I read, you know, 50, 60 books a year. I read a lot of books. And I'm telling you now, the moment I start reading a book, I don't know why, well, it was in there. It's not in there anymore, but it was in there for a while. The voice would go, oh, why are you reading this book? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You're never going to do it. You know, remember the last book you did and you wrote down all the goals you were going to achieve. Did you achieve any? What I do is I reverse it. I get a machine gun in my head. I'm not making this up. I get a machine gun in my head. And what I used to do was, the moment I opened the book and the voice went, kill it. Kill the voice in your head. Kill it. Picture it. Picture it as a form of you, a negative form of you, because that's what it is. Picture it. Kill it. Boom. Down. Gone. Once it's dead, don't come back. Following day, same thing again. It'll be there. It'll be there. Kill it. Throw a hand grenade at it. Catch. Gone again. Do that. 28 days. 28 days. Every day. Back to back. 28 days. Don't allow that voice to win. Because once that voice wins, it will win everything. Your positive voice is you. Your negative voice is in your head. And it's stronger than you, right? I know a lot of people out there. Shelley Farmer, I am in lockdown for the foreseeable future. I don't see anyone. No one can visit. How do I stay positive? Right. Well, look, let's face it, Sheila, there's a number of things you can do. Okay. First and foremost is you can start directing your mind to doing things in lockdown that you probably wouldn't have done if you were not in lockdown. Okay. And one of the most inspirational things I've started doing is I've started joining courses, online courses. Okay. Now, I'm not saying to everyone join an online course, but my God, you've been locked down for 6 weeks. What the hell are you doing? Join a course. Do a course. Something that you thought you would never do. Cross stitch. You know what I mean? Cook. Learn a menu. Learn a recipe. Not a menu, for Christ. Learn a recipe. You know, learn a new habit, a new hobby. Learn a language. Learn to do something you've never done before. You're in lockdown. Bugger it. You're sitting at home. Now, with you live on your own. So why don't you go out? Do an hour every day, where you sit down on a bench, okay, and you do breathing exercises, and you look at nature. Look at nature, okay. If you can't go out, look through your window, but open the window. Do something that's going to motivate you to being positive. You only have to do positivity for 5 minutes every day, okay, and it becomes a habit within 28 to 30 days. Do something positive. Cook something. Try and achieve something. Okay? Now, since I've been on lockdown, Sheila, I've joined 4 courses. I've completed 3 of them. I've got another one starting in mid-May. I've literally, I must have done, I mean, my wife will tell you, she'll back me up on this. I've probably done about 10 barbecues. And I've done different kind of menus and recipes on the barbecues, from glazed honey king prawns through to homemade lamb burgers. So I've done many, many different, which I would never have done. My wife will tell you, for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been so engrossed in trying to build my business, my Howling Entertainment business, trying to build my own career in doing more corporate shows, more tours, more variety shows. I've done so much. It's gone crazy. So I haven't had the time to do anything. I've become a better dad. I've started doing things with my children, like doing maths with my kids, doing English with my kids. I mean, you saw that image I put on Facebook today, my son writing today. Anyway, if you haven't, please check it out on my Facebook page. I've shared it on both pages. But I've done something different every day. I've done something different. Don't sit at home, watch Netflix 24 hours a day. It will kill you. Do not sit there whining that we're still in lockdown. Shut up about whining. Shut up. Get up. Get moving. Make your brain active. Make it work. Do something you've never done before. Honestly, another question. Get busy in lockdown. Exercise, cook, learn, make a list of all the things you would like to do once it's over. The list is endless. Annette Davidson. Top. There you go. Very positive attitude. Very positive reaction. Categorically. How many of you, be truthful, have exercised, right? Bring that one question back, by the way, Nick. How many of you have exercised every single day of your lives while you've been in lockdown? Okay. How many of you? How many of you? How many of you can truthfully say you've exercised more than half an hour every single day? I haven't. So I know truthfully I haven't done that. You know. But what is stopping you from doing it? What is stopping you from doing that? Ask that question. Here's another question you should ask yourself. When you get up in the morning for the last 6 weeks, what have you accomplished? What have you accomplished in 6 weeks that you can sit down right now and you can say, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Now, here's something for you. We've only got literally 5 minutes, so I want to give you a couple of questions. And you can join me again next week, same time, same place. We're going to do another show. If it gets too popular and you guys really want me to come back on sooner than next Friday, we'll try and arrange something and get it in the diary. But guys, listen, honestly, this is a question that was asked to me about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And I will talk to you about another side of my life, my financial side of my life, that was a nightmare. I will talk about that on another occasion, the longevity of financial education, but we'll talk about that on another day. Someone said to me about 12, 13 years ago, if your life was a prize in a competition, would you like to win it? Would you like to win it? Now think about that. Because apparently 97% of the planet are not happy with their lives. I am. I'm happy with my life. If it was a prize, damn right I would want to win it. Because I've got the most incredible, beautiful twin boys, the most beautiful wife. I'm seriously batting above my average. I truly am. I mean, let's face it, she's a hottie, okay? But I'm truly batting above my average with my wife. I've got a great family. I've got a great business. I'm surrounded in my business by the most incredible human beings, and they know who they are. If they're watching, they're a blessing in my life. I'm surrounded by incredible human beings on the planet. Everywhere I go in the world, and I know there's a shed load of Armenians watching. Those Armenians that have been watching, if you're still watching, oh my God, I can go anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, anywhere. And an Armenian family knows I'm in that country, they will give me a house and a home and a bed and food to eat. How can I not be happy? How can I not be happy? My life's a blessing. And so is yours. Your life is a blessing. And if you don't start believing that, you will drown quicker than you think. And you'll close your eyes and you'll open them and you'll be 70. You'll close your eyes, you'll open them, you'll be 80. And then one day, and this is why I'm always happy and positive. Why I'm always happy and positive. Because I don't want to be on my deathbed when I'm 103. And I'm lying there and all the negatives are standing around. And they're going, we won. We won. That's what they're not going to do. Because there's not going to be one negative around my bed. It's all going to be the positives going, thank you, mate. Thank you. I'm going to have the howling man standing there going, oh, mate, that was a great bit of legacy you left behind. Well done. You made a lot of people laugh. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. I'm going to be surrounded by positivity. Now, before I finish, just want to say a big thank you to Nick Farmer, who has been running and producing this particular show that we've been doing. He's an absolute genius, and he's my business partner as well. So thank you, Nick, for doing that. I do want to read a couple of things out. I just want to say, by the way, don't forget to join me on Wednesday. Now, this show, this positive show that we're doing, the motivational show I'm doing every Friday at 8 p.m. It's going to be a brand new thing. We're going to do it every Friday. But if you really want to write on my Facebook page, my Instagram, my Twitter, or my Facebook official page, and you want to say, Kev, put in another show, put in it, sooner than later, then we can probably put another one in on Monday night or Tuesday, whatever. We'll put another one in, and we'll do it twice a week, maybe, because it helps people, it motivates people, and I've got more stories, and I'll take more questions next time as well. This is the first show. I just wanted to kind of settle myself into it as well. But I want to say on Wednesday next week, I'm producing a brand new show, same channel, same platforms and everything, but we're also going to link it to the Howlin' Entertainment page. So if you go to Howlin' Entertainment on Facebook, you will see a page, like it and join it. We're going to start a new channel on there as well, but I'll also stream it on this channel again, so you can watch it on here. And it's going to be a brand new show called Howlin' TV, and we're going to be interviewing some of the stars that are also in lockdown, and we're going to talk to them about how they, cope with their lives, what they're doing, how they're focusing on the longevity of their act, and how they're moving forward. Guys, you've been absolutely amazing. I can't thank each and every one of you. Do you know what? We've had so many messages, so many questions that I've not got around to it, but I've got everyone here from Stevie Pink, Rosemary, through to Cherry, through to everyone. Guys, even the local library. Thank you. I love my local library, the best in the world. In Hoddesdon, by the way, the local post office. Listen, guys, take care of yourselves. Thank you, Nick, for running this production. Thank you, everyone who joined me. I truly appreciate it. Stay safe, stay positive, And remember, you are in control of your mind. God bless.